The world is in constant transformation, and many wonder, what is really to come? Signs of change are all around us, and the Bible has already warned us about them. Wars, natural disasters, and social divisions, all of this seems to be intensifying. But what do these events mean? Are we approaching a decisive moment? As time advances, the sense of urgency grows. What would you do if you knew that the end times are closer than you think? God's Word teaches us to be alert to the signs, not to be caught off guard. Get ready to reflect on the messages hidden in the Scriptures and how they relate to what we experience today. Have you been preparing spiritually? Or have you been ignoring the warnings around you? Each day brings new evidence that difficult times may lie ahead, and the choice of how to react is in your hands. Stay alert, keep an open mind, and prepare for a journey that may change your perspective. What will you do with this information? The answer may be more important than you think. Our first sign is climate change and natural disasters. In recent years, the planet has faced a notable increase in the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events. Stronger hurricanes, devastating wildfires, and floods that submerge entire cities have become an increasingly common reality. Many people are beginning to see these phenomena as signs that something is wrong, as if the world is heading toward imminent collapse. Nature, which once seemed predictable, now reveals itself to be unpredictable and threatening. These natural disasters affect not only the environment, but also people's lives. Entire communities are displaced, and the struggle for survival intensifies. Families lose their homes and their sources of income, and emotional stress becomes a constant in the lives of many. The connection between climate change and mental health is becoming an important topic, with experts warning about the psychological impact of these tragedies. Furthermore, the response to these disasters is not always quick or effective. Governments often find themselves overwhelmed and unable to handle the immediate consequences. In many cases, this creates a sense of helplessness among the population, which wonders if there is truly a safe future for their children. Uncertainties pile up, and the fear of what is to come spreads. The consequences of climate change also manifest in the economy. The increase in natural disasters has a direct impact on agriculture, tourism, and various industries. The costs of repair and recovery can be astronomical, leading to an economic crisis that affects the most vulnerable. And so, the wheel turns, with nature and society caught in a vicious cycle of destruction and recovery. Finally, when discussing climate change, it is impossible to ignore collective responsibility. Each of us has a role in combating this alarming scenario. Awareness and individual action are crucial if we are to reverse, or at least, mitigate these devastating effects. What is at stake is nothing less than the future of our planet. Another sign is geopolitical conflicts and humanitarian crises. The current global landscape is marked by rising geopolitical tensions, manifesting in conflicts and humanitarian crises. Countries that were once allies now find themselves at odds, and what seemed to be a peaceful world begins to show signs of disintegration. Wars become more frequent, and internal conflicts, which were once confined to specific regions, now resonate on a global scale. These crises affect not only the countries in conflict, but also influence the political and social balance in other nations. The flow of refugees increases, and millions of people are forced to leave their homes in search of safety. This wave of migration generates tensions in host countries, which often are not prepared to deal with the situation. Solidarity seems scarce, and the fear of the unknown becomes an obstacle to empathy. With the rise of humanitarian crises, international aid becomes a matter of urgency. However, assistance often encounters political and logistical barriers. Humanitarian organizations face difficulties accessing conflict areas, and bureaucracy can delay actions that could save lives. Meanwhile, the needs of affected populations become increasingly pressing, and the situation worsens. Furthermore, geopolitical conflicts are often fueled by economic and resource issues. Disputes over oil, water, and fertile land exacerbate violence and instability. A vicious cycle is established, where the struggle for essential resources generates more conflicts, creating an environment of insecurity that challenges world peace. In this context, it is hard not to wonder what the future of humanity will be. The lack of dialogue and understanding between nations can lead to a global social and political collapse. What is seen is an urgent need for cooperation and understanding, as only then will it be possible to face the challenges that lie ahead. The third sign is technological advancements and social ethics. Technology is advancing rapidly, and with it arise new ethical and social questions. Artificial intelligence and biotechnology, for example, are transforming the way we live and interact. Although these advancements bring undeniable benefits such as personalized medicine and industrial automation, they also raise concerns about the future of humanity. One of the major questions surrounding this discussion is the responsibility for decisions made by intelligent machines. When AI makes a wrong decision, who is held accountable? This uncertainty generates an intense debate about the need for regulations that ensure safety and ethics in the use of these technologies. The lack of clear guidelines can lead to disastrous consequences. Furthermore, biotechnology raises questions about genetic manipulation and its implications. The possibility of editing human genes to eliminate diseases is fascinating, but it also raises moral dilemmas. How far should we go in the pursuit of perfection? These questions have no easy answers and require deep reflection from society. The rise of these technologies may also exacerbate social inequalities. While some have access to innovations that improve quality of life, others may be left behind, creating an even greater divide between the rich and the poor. This disparity can lead to social and political tensions, becoming fertile ground for future conflicts. Finally, the challenge is to find a balance between progress and ethics. Technology has the potential to transform the world for the better, but this will only be possible if we accompany these changes with responsibility and reflection. The future of humanity largely depends on how we will deal with these advancements and the decisions we make now. A recent issue has been pandemics and global health. In recent years, the world has been shaken by pandemics that changed the way we live and interact. Emerging infectious diseases, such as COVID-19, have left deep marks on global public health. Many people lost family and friends, and uncertainty about health became a constant in daily life. The impact on the economy has also been significant, with businesses closing and jobs being lost at an alarming rate. Additionally, the response of health authorities varied greatly among countries. While some managed to control the spread of the virus quickly, others faced significant challenges. This generated a sense of inequality in access to healthcare, with wealthier nations having resources for vaccines and treatments, while others struggled to obtain the basics. This disparity heightened the vulnerability of many populations. The lessons learned from pandemics are also crucial. The importance of robust healthcare systems and adequate preparedness for health emergencies has become evident. Many experts advocate for the need to invest in healthcare infrastructure and the training of professionals. Global health is a challenge that must be addressed collectively, as diseases do not recognize borders. Mental health also gained prominence during these critical periods. Social isolation and the anxiety generated by the pandemic affected the psychological well-being of millions of people. The increase in cases of depression and anxiety showed that, in addition to physical issues, mental health needs to be a priority in discussions about global health. Finally, the pandemic highlighted the interconnection between health, economy, and society. The impact of infectious diseases goes beyond physical health. It reverberates across all aspects of human life. The future demands a collaborative approach to tackle these challenges, as global health is a collective good that needs to be protected. The fifth sign is social and economic inequality. Social and economic inequality is an issue that is becoming increasingly evident worldwide. With the growing disparity between the rich and the poor, many people feel excluded and without opportunities. This divide affects not only income, but also access to essential services, such as education and healthcare. The greater the distance between communities, the higher the social tension. The consequences of this inequality are profound. In many cities, violence and crime increase in areas where poverty is extreme. Young people with no prospects for the future may be drawn to illicit activities. This creates a vicious cycle where the lack of opportunities fuels insecurity and social instability. The sense of injustice and helplessness grows, exacerbating conflicts and discontent. On the other side, the concentration of wealth in the hands of a few creates an environment of exclusion. Often, those who hold economic power influence political decisions that do not favor the majority of the population. This can result in policies that benefit only an elite, while the needs of the most vulnerable communities are ignored. The lack of representation and voice in decision-making spheres intensifies resentment. The impact of inequality is also reflected in the economy. When a large part of the population lacks access to resources and opportunities, economic growth is compromised. Job creation and sustainable development are hindered. Countries that do not invest in reducing social disparities ultimately face more severe and lasting economic crises. Finally, the fight against social and economic inequality requires collective action. The involvement of governments, businesses, and citizens is essential to create a fairer future. Initiatives that promote inclusion and access to opportunities can make a difference. Building a more equitable society is not just a matter of justice, but also of stability and peace for all. Lastly, spiritual and religious transformations. In recent years, many have noticed a shift in beliefs and religious practices around the world. Traditional churches face challenges with diminishing numbers of congregants, while new sects and movements emerge, attracting the attention of people seeking answers to existential questions. These transformations can be seen as a search for meaning in times of uncertainty and crisis. Many people feel lost and seek new forms of spirituality that connect more directly with their personal experiences. Furthermore, access to information and globalization have allowed different beliefs to mix and influence one another. This cultural exchange results in a rich tapestry of spiritual practices, but it also generates confusion and conflict. While some celebrate this diversity, others feel threatened by new ideas that challenge established traditions. The need for belonging and community remains strong, and many find themselves in groups that share similar experiences, creating new support networks. Social media plays a crucial role in this scenario. It provides a platform for new voices and ideas to spread rapidly, allowing emerging religious movements to gain momentum. Groups that were once small and isolated can now connect with a global audience. This can be seen as both an opportunity for spiritual growth and a risk, as not all doctrines that emerge are beneficial or grounded in ethical principles. Another relevant aspect is the search for spirituality outside traditional religions. Many people are turning to practices such as meditation, yoga, and other self-care methods that promise a deeper connection with themselves and the universe. These practices, while not necessarily religious, have a strong spiritual component and attract those seeking an alternative to dogmatism. This shift reflects a need to adapt to modern life, where the pressures of daily existence can pull individuals away from their spiritual roots. Ultimately, this transformation in the spiritual and religious landscape can be seen as a reflection of ongoing social and cultural changes. What was once considered unchangeable is now being questioned. People are seeking authenticity and genuine connection in their spiritual lives. While this may generate uncertainties, it also opens doors for a broader dialogue about faith, belief, and the meaning of life in a constantly changing world. Thus, the search for new forms of spirituality may indeed be a sign of an era of renewal and reflection. And so, we reach a crucial point. The signs of the end times are all around us, and it is essential that we remain alert and prepared. Have you ever stopped to think about how these signs manifest in your life? What changes can you make today to align with what God desires for you? Remember, it is not just about fear, but about hope and transformation. Each sign is a call for us to reflect on our faith and our role in the world. And if all of this is real, how can you strengthen yourself spiritually? It is time to take action. What steps can you take now to draw closer to God? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience may inspire others to prepare as well. Let's embark on this journey of faith and discovery together. Don't let apathy engulf you. Strive to live each day with purpose and intention. And remember, the end can be the beginning of something amazing. So, how about sharing this video with friends and family? You could be the light they need for this reflection. Until next time, and may God bless your journey. The world is in constant transformation, and many wonder, what is really to come? Signs of change are all around us, and the Bible has already warned us about them. Wars, natural disasters, and social divisions